Hey guys, Shadney back with another process video today. And today I might be a little quieter than normal. I'm trying not to be too loud. I am actually doing my voiceover in the backyard. Phil's already awake and working and has the TV going, and India's still asleep, so I didn't want to do it in the craft room and wake her up. So this was just the easiest way to get it done this morning. So sorry about that. So the photo I'm scrapbooking today is obviously a photo of myself. I had a fun event, Stampin' Up! Event that we went to in March. Actually, it might have been in February. I can't remember, March or February. Before all the quarantine stuff started going and happening here. And I actually fixed my hair and put on makeup, and I was feeling really good, so I took some pictures in my craft room with my yarn behind me for that bright color, and I just really liked how the photo turned out, which is not something that I always like of myself, so I wanted to scrapbook it. I had ordered these really cute color cast designs pieces that are Get Crafty acrylic, and then some different little wood little phrase strips that I think they're all Crafty related, but I can't remember exactly. And then then I have some white acrylic pieces from her as well, little hearts and stars. So I wanted to get that Get Crafty piece used. And so this page, I'm just really going to talk about my crafting in general. Like, I am a maker. That is at the heart of everything I do. I am a maker. So, and that's what my journaling's about. I pulled out this Pink Fresh Studios background paper. I really love this paper. I bought it a while ago, and it's one of those that I've saved and saved and saved because I needed it for the perfect layout. And I finally decided just to go for it and just use it. At first, I wasn't loving how it was turning out. I don't know, it didn't really feel right, but how it ends up, I really like how it turned out in the end. And then I also pulled out some Scrap and Happy Studio little epoxy flares as well to use. And I do end up creating some of my own. They're obviously not as good as hers because hers are just awesome. But I just use some pattern paper to do that. Sorry, I'm saying a lot, and I'm trying not to. I pulled out some paper from a 6x8 paper pad, and it is a crepe paper travel collection, but I can't remember what it's called. And then this corally pinky ombre polka dotted one is from a Paige Evans collection. So I've got a little bit of both, and I just pulled out some kind of wonky kind of papers, and eclectic looking, that I felt like coordinated pretty well with this background paper, the colors and stuff. And then you saw me already cut a big heart shape out of a 6x6 piece of aqua, and then now I'm just matting my photo. In a minute, I'm going to go ahead and adhere these together. I am going to pull out some Stampin' Up! Punches and create some flowers. Oh, first, I'm going to add foam behind the photo just to pop it up. I usually do that on almost every layout. I just like giving a little bit of extra emphasis to your photo, and if you haven't been around very much, I just like a lot of dimension on my pages anyways, a lot of texture. So I tend to pop up a lot of things, but it's nice to use the craft foam or the Stampin' Dimensionals to pop up, because you can do multiple layers without making a lot of bulk because they are thinner. So now what I've done is I've pulled out my Stampin' Up! Flower punch. There is a stamp that coordinates with this that you can stamp and then punch, but I really just wanted the look of this pattern paper, so I just used the punch, and I punched 3 times out of for each flower. And then I'm going to use the epoxies for centers of my flowers, which I really like how that turns out. Sorry, my throat's like really yucky because I think just because of outside and morning. So anyways, and now you hear an airplane. I'm so sorry. I kind of like doing this outside. I don't know if my neighbors can hear me at all, and they probably think I'm crazy if they can, but it's really nice out. It's just calm and quiet and kind of cool this morning, so it's kind of cool, and you get some fun nature noises like that weird bird. Anyway, sorry, back to the scrapbook. So I did go ahead and pull out some epoxy pieces, some epoxy flare from Scrap and Happy Studio. If you have not checked her out, she's on Etsy and she's got a lot of really, really cool ones. And I just like incorporating them because they're really nice. You can adhere them flat, so they're not very dimensional. If you don't like a lot of dimension on your page, and they are thinner than regular like metal flare, but you can also, if you do like that dimension, you can add a pop dot behind there or a Stampin' Dimensional and add just a little bit of height. So I am just still going through and punching flowers out and adhering. And at this point, I think I'm just going to do these 3, but I really just needed more flowers. So I went ahead but I didn't want to use up all of my flare, and it was hard. I didn't have the right colors in the right like phrases or whatever to make this work. So what I end up doing is pulling out my 1-inch circle punch and punching, I'll get to that in a minute, I guess. I'm still going through, whenever I do these flowers, what I do is I punch 3 out for each bloom, and then I use my thumb, just like I don't know how to say it, like the fatty part of your thumb, and just curl it across the, the petals, and just kind of pull up a bit so that it makes them like curl up. The petals curl up, and then when you adhere them together, it just makes more like little cups. Another thing that would be cool is if you had the time and the effort, you could go through and ink the edges of your petals, and that would make them give them a little bit of a different look, especially if you use like an oxide or a colored ink. That could get more of a dimensional look, which would be kind of cool. And then I just adhered them with my tape runner, and I've also adhered them with glue. Either way, I mean, it works just the same. You might just have to wait for it to dry. So then I did pull out my 1-inch circle punch to create some of my own enamel flare or epoxy flare. They don't turn out as well because you're using when Scrap and Happy Studio, when she does hers, she has better quality epoxy dots than I do, I'm sure, because hers don't have bubbles and stuff, and she prints hers on really high quality paper, whereas I'm using just pattern paper, and they're just not sticking right. So they don't look bad. I'm fine with it. I like how it turned out in the end. But it doesn't have that same perfect store-bought looking quality that, it's not store-bought, but it looks like high-end quality versus what mine look like, which looks like I made them at home. So I will say you can make your own, but you will see the imperfections in the paper. Whenever you squeeze the paper whenever you adhere the paper to the back of the epoxy, you can see almost like air pockets, and it's not because they're not on all the way, it's because of the imperfections in the paper itself. So but they work out perfectly for what I need. I just wanted that big pop of color to coordinate with the flowers and just give those flower centers. So now I've got my flowers all done. And I'm just going to kind of mess with them and arrange them around to try to get them how I like them. This is the part I kind of had trouble with. I love this flower punch, but I wish there was like a size smaller as well so that I could fit them together differently. I don't know. I just feel like they're so big that if we had a smaller size, it would be perfect to go with it, to be able to cluster them together a little differently. So now I'm going to go ahead and start adhering things down now that I kind of have an idea of what I want. I just adhered that heart down. That little wood veneer piece, it does come with adhesive already on the back of it, and it's super, super sticky. So that was really cool. I went ahead and adhered my photo down, and then I'm going to start popping these guys on with the Stampin' Dimensionals. The really cool thing about Stampin' Dimensionals is that they are so extremely sticky. So whenever I adhered them down, I just use one dimensional dot, but it is definitely enough adhesive to hold the flowers on really well. If you've not been around long, I do tend to use a lot of adhesive because I just like to make sure my stuff's secure. And for me to use just one pop dot to hold that flower on, you can tell that the adhesive's really good quality. So I just get all of these flowers stuck down. I'm trying to get them layered up and tucked just how I want them. And then you can go back and kind of fluff up those petals if you need to. Then I pull out my Tombow Mono liquid adhesive and use that to adhere this acrylic piece. The acrylic, because it is a smooth, shiny plastic, I've not adhered down a big acrylic piece like this before, so I wanted to make sure it's going to hold really well. So I did use that Tombow Mono liquid adhesive because when it dries still sticky, like a glue dot basically. So it has a little bit of give and a little bit of rubber, so it'll hold it in place a little better without popping off, I think. Then I pulled out some white hearts and stars from Color Cast Designs, and just kind of sprinkled them around in little kind of clusters, but not, they're just kind of sprinklies. I was starting to adhere them down, and then I think I paused. Yes, I paused because I decided to add some leaves. Oh, or not. Maybe I just adhere them down and then add the leaves later. I thought I added them in, but no, I am wrong. Anyways, in the future, if you do this, I would do leaves first and then go back and add your sprinkly bits so that you know where you want your sprinkly bits after the leaves are there. But I do pull out a Stampin' Up! Punch that is leaves that coordinates really well with this flower punch. And I just punch some other pattern paper to use and then tuck it around just to give it a little bit more, so it's not just a big cluster of flowers. It looks more not realistic, because it's obviously not realistic. Flowers don't exactly look like this in real life with big enamel shiny dots in the middle, but you kind of get what I'm saying. Make them more organic looking instead of like a big bunch right there on the bottom of the page. So I've got all my what are they called? Acrylic pieces adhered down. And I didn't realize I was off camera this long, or I would have cut that part out. But now I just pulled out some enamel dots, and these are from Altenew. It was a huge package for like maybe $5 on Scrapbook.com, and it was before I got all my Nuvo adhesive. My Nuvo drops. So sorry about that. So it was honestly, I thought it was a really good deal. You got a ton of dots for not nearly as much. So I just sprinkled some of the pink ones around in these little gappy areas. And then now I'm pulling out that punch. And I wanted to keep it in this like aqua-y, turquoisey kind of color. So I did pull out, this is from a Maggie Holmes, I think the Flourish collection. And I just punched the leaves out of the center of those flowers because I just wanted those colors. But I wanted the texture, so... and I'm just kind of sprinkling not sprinkling, tucking the leaves underneath, and then I'll adhere them down with my Nuvo adhesive. And then that'll be pretty much it. I kind of try to do them in a way where it's filling in any gaps that I feel like are awkward or like trapped or anything like that. So I just try to kind of fill it in as well as possible. And then now I'm going to go in and add my journaling. Again, my journaling just talks about me as a person. I am a maker, and that is at the heart and soul of everything I do. It makes me happy. It fills my soul up, etc., etc. So I do cut out some of this journaling because I am writing for a while, and then I stop at different times to try to think about what I want to say, and I mess up and all these things. So now lastly, I'm going to add just a little bit of Heidi Swap Color Shine in this like corally pink color, just to add a little bit more texture and some color just around the outside in the sprinkly. You know I like sprinkly bits, so and then I will be done. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like. If you want to see more videos, please hit subscribe and hit that bell notification so YouTube knows that you actually do want to see my videos and you're not just, I don't know, joking around. And then leave me a comment and maybe tell me one of your favorite things to use for flower centers, because I really like how these turned out. It's not something I'd normally do. So I would love to see what are some of your things. If you like brads or drops, like Nuvo drops, or acrylic pieces, or maybe like a weird thing that you've used as a flower center that's not a normal piece. So I would love to know that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day and happy scrapping. Bye.